Welcome to City Talk. I'm Bret Barron. I'm joined here today with Mike Talbot, the City Manager of Bastrop. This is actually Mike's second term as City Manager of Bastrop. He served from 1993 to 1997 before he went to Lampasas to be the City Manager. In 2006, when the City Manager of Bastrop position became available, he was the first one that they called, and he's been there ever since. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Well, it's great to be here, and I'm delighted to be back in Bastrop as Bastrop City Manager.
So I'm sure everyone has their own theory of what a city manager does, but I'd like for you to set the record straight. How would you describe what you do?
Well, first of all, to understand what I do, we have to understand the form of government we operate here at the local level. And it's called the council manager form of government. And that's created by a city charter. And the voters of the city of Bastrop approved the city charter. And in that charter, it delineates the duties of the council, the mayor, and the city manager. Basically, under our city charter, I am classified as a chief executive officer, and I'm responsible for all of the administrative affairs in the operation of the city: police, fire, planning, finance. Everything falls under my purview for the operations of the city.
So I know you've been city manager for a few different cities, I think 4 total, is that right?
That is correct.
What are your 3 favorite parts of being a city manager?
One is I really enjoy the interaction with people. My father was a plumbing contractor. I grew up working for my father and had an opportunity to meet a lot of different people, and I enjoyed that. 2, I've had a wonderful opportunity in my career to be involved in a lot of major projects. 2 here in Bastrop, the City Hall and the Convention Center, and it's always very exciting when you can get involved in building a project for the betterment of the community. And thirdly, it's being a public servant. I enjoy serving the public. I enjoy interacting with my staff and being of assistance to them, developing the organization, working with the city council and developing policies to make Bastrop a better community.
We're going to be right back. Mike's going to tell us a little bit about the growth of Bastrop, where we are now and where we're going to be. Stay tuned, you're watching City Talk.
In Bastrop, there's so much to see and do, you just have to take a few days to take it all in. In Bastrop,
you can be a big splash. Or you can just come out to the Hyatt and horse around.
Or you could take a long drive through Bastrop County. Or a short one.
Or just get led around.
You can get hooked up on real fish stories.
Bastrop is a kaleidoscope of activities including the arts, camping, living history, nightly entertainment, and fun. There's always something going on.
so didn't I tell you that Bastrop was the place to be? Come, stay, and play the Bastrop way.
Welcome back to City Talk. I'm here with Mike Talbot, the City Manager of Bastrop. We wanted to talk a little bit about the growth of Bastrop, where we are now and where we're heading in the future.
At the current time, from my perspective, we're in one of the hotbeds of growth in the state of Texas. Both the state and the national level have identified the Central Texas area as one of the highest growth rate areas in the nation right now. Bastrop has a population of about 7,800. We've been working vigorously on doing population projections. We're projecting in 20 years anywhere from a population of 20 to 35,000. And of course, the importance of that is as more people come into your community, the more pressures that are placed on the city services that are delivered, transportation, your water, your wastewater, So it's very important that we track our growth trends and make sure that we're staying in check with those growth trends to keep our infrastructure in check with that and our city services in check with that, our public safety in check with that. So right now it's a real challenge with the growth that's coming into this area. There was a recent article about a week or so ago that says for every week about 125 people are coming into the Austin Metroplex, and only 35 are going to Austin. So that means the remainder are relocating out in the surrounding areas, including Bastrop.
What would you say are maybe 2 or 3 things that someone who's not living in Bastrop currently, but might be attracted to move to Bastrop, would be enticed to come here for?
Oh, there's so many wonderful things about our community. Clearly, our downtown area is very, very picturesque. We're a Texas Main Street city, and our Main Street director over the last several years has done a wonderful job in revitalizing and reorganizing the vitality of our downtown. I think anytime that an outsider comes into a community and they can see that your downtown is vibrant and people are out there doing things, it speaks well of your community. The downtown is kind of the heart of your city, and so picture it one way is if you drive into your downtown and it looks like the last picture show, or conversely, you drive into your downtown as a visitor and you see an enormous amount of activities. It speaks of a vibrant community going on. Secondly, we're very, very blessed to have so many beautiful historic homes, and a lot of people over the years have worked hard renovating those homes, keeping those homes up, and making that part of our historic culture. I've had a lot of compliments from a variety of people who have visited me that what a delight it is to drive around our community and see the type of housing that we have. And I think thirdly, the Colorado River has a big impact on, from a recreational standpoint, and opportunities to our community. And I could go on. We have the state park. It's beautiful. A lot of my friends have visited the state park and said what a beautiful facility it is. And in actuality, that's how I ended up in Bastrop. I went to the state park in '93 and fell in love with Bastrop because of the state park and some of the other amenities that I spoke about.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to test Mr. Talbot's Elvis Presley trivia knowledge. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. You're watching City Talk.
Hi, I'm Dan Hepker. I'm the owner of Bastrop Copier, Office Machines, Business Products. I'm at the corner of Main and Chestnut, right downtown Bastrop. We have parking in the back, we have parking out front, we have several parking lots throughout the town down here. A lot of times when people think of a small business in Bastrop, Texas, they think of little things like pens, they think of paper clips. We can do a lot more than that. We can actually come to your office and fill your whole office from flooring all the way to the roof with everything that you might possibly need. We can install as big a desk as you need, as small a desk as you need. We can do it.
Welcome back to City Talk. I'm Bret Barron with Mike Talbot. Now, Mike is a self-proclaimed Elvis fanatic, but I did my own research and found a few questions from Wikipedia, one of the more trusted sites online. And I came up with a few, we'll call them difficult questions for Mr. Talbot. So, Mike, are you sure you don't want to know these answers before I read these questions?
I'm going to give it my best shot and see what I do.
All right. These are multiple choice. There's no lifelines, but if you're wanting to play at home, feel free to. In November of 1956, Elvis made his film debut in which movie? A, Aloha from Hawaii. B, Love Me Tender. C, Jailhouse Rock. Or D, Flaming Star.
Love Me Tender.
Very good. He is 1 for 1 at home. Wonder if you did as well. Second question. In which city was Elvis born? A, Bastrop, Texas. B, Tupelo, Mississippi. C, Nashville, Tennessee. Or D, Biloxi, Mississippi.
Well, actually, Elvis was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. And when I was stationed in the Air Force, I was stationed in Columbus, Mississippi, which was not too far from Tupelo, so I went to Elvis's birthplace.
Do you have any memorabilia hanging up in your office from
Tupelo?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Is that right? What's your favorite piece of memorabilia from his birthplace?
His house. To think that someone came from such humble beginnings to superstardom as he did, it's phenomenal.
Well, I'm sitting with someone else that's on the right track to head in that same direction, right?
I don't know. We'll see.
Let's see if you can go 3 for 3. What was Elvis's middle name? Was it A, Hound Dog, B, Aaron, C, Hess, or D, Reagan?
Actually, it's Elvis Aaron Presley. He was born with a twin brother who died at birth. And there's always a controversy because on his gravestone in Memphis, Aaron is spelled with 2 A's, but Elvis always spelled it with 1 A.
Interesting. And for those viewers at home, a little trivia about Mr. Talbot. His middle name is Hess, and my middle name is Reagan. If you would have picked B, C, or D, we'll go ahead and give you credit as 3 for 3. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with some more interesting topics about city management in Bastrop. You're watching City Talk.
My name is Phil Greaves. I'm the president of Jamco. We're in the industrial park at Bastrop, Texas. This is the site of Jamco's future plant. We'll be building over the next 6 months to manufacture curtain walls. Curtain walls are the exterior walls on mid and high-rise office buildings. Basically glass and aluminum and granite.
I appreciate you guys coming in here and making some money, but what I really want to do is I want the folks here in Bastrop to make some money. I want to employ some people here, and that's what they're going to do for us, and we really appreciate that. We're bringing good jobs to Bastrop.
Between what we'll have in the shop and in the field, we'll probably be approaching about 100 employees. We thought that Texas would be a good market for us to operate in. We first found Bastrop basically by drawing a circle on a map on an area that we thought logistically would work well for us because we're shipping our product to Houston, Dallas, and Austin. Then we went online and we found the EDC's webpage. We called and made contact with Dave Quinn, and from that time on, it's been a very smooth process. There's a little over 11 acres of land. The building, the manufacturing part will be approximately 40,000 square feet. If anybody's considering starting an operation here in Texas, I encourage them to talk to the people in Bastrop. There's a real energy here, a real welcoming spirit, and they've made the process very easy for us. Well, in a very short time, the people in Bastrop are going to be able to go to Houston and Austin and Dallas and pick out a landmark there that we've been involved in. And you can say, that was manufactured in Bastrop.
Welcome back to City Talk. I'm here with Mike Talbot, the city manager of Bastrop. Mike, you've been the city manager this term since 2006, so I'm sure of your long list of accomplishments, you may have one that sticks out. What's your most proud or proudest accomplishment so far?
When I received the phone call from Bastrop asking if I would consider to come back here. Normally city managers don't have that opportunity, and I was extremely flattered that the community and the council thought enough of me to ask me to come back. I've had the wonderful opportunity of working with the council, a tremendous staff. No one person can get it done. We have a total team effort in everything that we approach. But boiling that down, I guess, would be the construction of the new City Hall. Prior to the construction of the new City Hall, our technology was at the bottom of the barrel. The ability to communicate amongst departments was very, very difficult. The ability to even work in the old City Hall was a challenge in itself. And when we all moved over to the new City Hall, it was like moving into a new world. I believe we've enhanced our service delivery to the citizens. We have clearly upgraded our technology. It's wonderful now that when you send an email, you know it's going to get there. I'm very, very pleased with that, and working in beautiful surroundings. And then carrying that forth, we did something that was a little apprehensive about, but when we started building the new City Hall, we also started at the same time building the convention center. Normally cities don't build two major projects like that simultaneously, but we chose to do that for a few reasons. The construction market was in a good market to go out for construction bids. The bond market was good. And by combining those projects together and building them simultaneously, we saved over $1 million.
It's a really awesome convention center. I haven't been in the City Hall yet, but did you ever think to put your office in the convention center instead?
Well, there's been a few times I'd like to hide out over there. No, I want to be at City Hall. I want to be where the people come in at. I get my greatest joy when I come into City Hall from a meeting or being someplace and greeting a citizen as I go to my office. Some want to go back and see my Elvis memorabilia, and I've always invited them back to tour it. But I just love the interaction with the citizens, talking with the staff, and a great place to be, and I'm honored to work with the council that I have.
So the City Hall and the convention center are relatively close, aren't they?
They're right across the street from each other. Probably one of the biggest undertakings that I was confronted with when I first got here was putting all the parcels together for the construction of the convention center. There's about 12 parcels that had to be put together, and it took me about 1.5 to 2 years to put all those parcels together.
Has anyone thought about putting a zip line between the City Hall and the convention center yet?
That is under consideration, right? It is.
So tell me, I know that you enjoy the state park so much that was part of the reason why you came to Bastrop. But
yes.
In your mind, what is the perfect day in Bastrop like?
The perfect day in Bastrop is really, for me, driving. I periodically like to drive around and see what's going on in our community, see how people are, what they're doing, and to drive through the city parks and seeing the families enjoying the amenities of the parks, driving through the neighborhoods, seeing people having neighborhood gatherings or getting together, seeing children out playing, just seeing a calm community, driving through the downtown, seeing a vibrant downtown, continuing to move forward, going up to the state park and seeing that we continue to have visitors, even though the fire did do a lot of damage to the parks, people are coming back. It just creates such a sense of community that you just really you just get excited. It just really charges me up, and I want to get back to City Hall and get back to work.
Tell me this, whenever you go to eat lunch in any particular restaurant in town, do you have a favorite meal or a favorite place to go and eat when you do?
Well, normally, Brent, I don't eat lunch.
Is that right?
Yes, I usually eat crackers and a glass of milk.
A good balance?
I used my lunch hour to organize for my afternoon activities. So I do need to get out and eat lunch more to interact with the people, but with some of the demands that I've had upon me here in the last year or two, I've been utilizing that time to organize and keep my work schedule moving forward, because my average work day is I get to work about 7:30 in the morning and get home between 8 and 9 o'clock at night.
So no one can complain the city manager is taking too long of a lunch break if he's not taking one at all.
I would hope so.
Stay tuned. You're watching City Talk.
I was toting my pack along the dusty Winnemucca Road when along came a semi with a high and canvas-covered load. If you're going to Winnemucca Mac with me, you can ride. And so I climbed into the cab and then I settled down inside. He asked me if I'd seen a road with so much dust and sand, and I said, listen, I've traveled every road in this here land. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts bare, man. I breathed the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, La Paloma, Bangor, Baltimore, Salvador, Amarillo, Tocopilla, Barranquilla, and Padilla. I'm a killer. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts, bare, man. I breathe.
My name is Barry. I've been using carts for about 2 years now. I work at ACC and also take classes.
I've been to Louisville, Nashville, Knoxville.
I save roughly about $10 a day taking the bus in instead of driving.
Report, Hackensack, Cadillac, Fond du Lac, Davenport, Idaho, Jellicoe, Argentina, Diamantina, Pasadena, Catalina, see what I mean? I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts, bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Pittsburgh, Parkersburg, Gravelburg, Colorado, Ellensburg, Rexburg, Vicksburg, El Dorado, Larimore, Atmore, Havistaw, Chattanooga, Chaska, Nebraska, Alaska, Opelika, Baraboo, Waterloo, Kalamazoo, Kansas City, Sioux City, Cedar City, Dodge City. What a pity. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Across the deserts, bare, man. I breathe the mountain air, man. I've traveled, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been everywhere.
Welcome back to City Talk. I'm Bret Barron with City Manager of Bastrop, Mike Talbot. We've got a couple more topics that Mike wanted to share some information with you all, just to give you an idea of what's going on. One of them was the city's water, the source, the future of the use of water, and Mike was going to let us know a little bit more about what's on the plate.
First, I want to start out by saying that water is the most essential element from my perspective for the growth of a city in the future. You're not going to grow if you don't have water. You can have the best streets, you can have the best library, the best of everything, but if you don't have water, you don't grow. Currently, we get our water from well fields on both sides of the Colorado River and the Willow Plant Field over in Fisherman's Park and in Bob Bryant. We currently are evaluating several options to develop a minimum of a 30-year supply and hopefully to a 50-year supply. And that's where it gets into doing your population projections, thinking what growth elements are going to happen. You do your best job, but one thing can disrupt that. We're very close to bringing it down to making a decision where we think we should go for developing additional water. Our plans are to bring additional supply on in 2017, and then we've staggered our program out for about 4 additional wells over the next 30 to 35 years. The thing we have to be cautious of, we don't want to underestimate, because then that could hurt us down the road. Correspondingly, if we overestimate, then it puts a bigger burden on our ratepayers, which we don't want to do. So we're balancing rates, supply, growth, and trying to tie all that together. The council and I have had numerous workshops on the options that we have been presented with. My goal is to make the best decision that we can for the future of this community. Because of the community that it is, it's going to grow, it's going to prosper, and by being in the driver's seat with water, we can direct that growth and handle that growth and continue to make Bastrop the vibrant community that it is today.
So contrary to popular belief, we don't get our water supply from Lake Bastrop?
No, we do not.
I understand that last year's budget audit was a successful one.
Yes, at the last council meeting a week ago Tuesday night, the auditors presented the fiscal year 13 budget. We're submitting the audit for an award because of the fact that there was no management comments, that we were not following any procedures improperly. All of our fund balances are in very good, stable position. As the auditor told the council, you should be very pleased with the fund balances that are reflected for the various funds in the budget. We are trying to hold our expenditures in line, and it's because of having that kind of audit that back in October we went through a bond rating process, and we maintained, and in one area got upgraded to a AA minus bond rating for the city of Bastrop. And for a community of 7,800 to have received a AA minus bond rating is just outstanding.
AA minus, meaning there's a little bit of room for improvement. But
always, right.
Not much.
Not much, but there's room for improvement. But the big factor that plays is when we do issue debt, we get a better interest rate because we're viewed as a much better credit risk because of the higher bond rating.
All sounds like it's good news. We're going to go to a break right now, but we'll be back with some closing remarks and let you guys know what's coming up on the next episode of City Talk. Stay tuned.
This is the grand opening of our new gallery, and we have been at 1009 Main Street for about 12 years. And this is a really extraordinary change for us, and we love what Mr. Fonshari did in restoring this building. It's gorgeous, you know, the lighting system, the natural light that comes in. Such a welcoming place, and people can look through the windows and see the beautiful talent that we have here in Bastrop, which is fantastic. I know some people have asked, is this replacing the big project on Chestnut because it's such a wonderful move? But this is a transitional move for us. So we're just now beginning to raise money for the big capital campaign for the project on Chestnut. But this is such a wonderful place as a transitional home, and we're thrilled.
Jeanette Condre. I'm the president of the Art Guild. This, as you can see, is our wonderful new gallery. It looks more like a gallery to us, and we're able to do more with the art. We have 155 members now, and we're all local artists. Trying to keep the downtown alive and vibrant, and we're hoping that this new location will help that as well. We have some wonderful, wonderful artists.
Next Sunday is our gala, our annual fundraiser, and that's at the historical home of Judge Paul Page, and this will be our 7th year to have that. And it's a garden party, and knock on wood, we've had great weather every year, and that's our major fundraiser. There's a live auction of about 18 pieces, and then we have a big silent auction tent, and that silent auction has about 60 pieces of art. So it's a lot of fun. We have wine and great hors d'oeuvres. Baxter's is catering this year. And we have specialty desserts and champagne during the live auction. So that's a great event. Anyone can come. We'd love to have you.
Welcome back to City Talk. I'm Bret Barron here with City Manager of Bastrop, Mike Talbot. Wanted to ask you something because you brought up traffic in Bastrop. But right now at Highway 95 and Highway 71, I think most people notice that there's an elapsed time before getting through that light.
Yes.
Are there any plans, or is there anything in the works to possibly alleviate that?
We've been spending quite a lot of time working with the Texas Department of Transportation. They're in the design phase right now to expand service roads and road improvements from the west side of the river all the way to 95. And what that encompasses will be service roads that'll pick up on the west side and carry all the way to the 95-71 intersection on both sides of the road. And then some widening of the road, improvements of the turn lane traffic. And the concept there, of course, is those vehicles that do not need to be on the 71 can use the service roads to travel and pull some of that traffic off. That's going to be a very expensive project. What TxDOT has been evaluating is, do we do the project in 2 phases or do we do it in 1 phase? And that's what we're working with them on right now. The design is about 80% complete. The big thing is the project hasn't been funded.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I think that's it for today.
Yep.
Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
It's a delight to be here.
I'm Bret Barron from City Talk saying thanks for watching and have a good night.